Yeah. Crying, eat, sleep, wake up. Yeah. Yeah. Ah! Yeah. 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 I've been putting in the work just like my daddy said. And I've been working all year. And looking at the trophy with the long stare. While everybody's sitting in their lawn chair. I know that it's coming cause I know I don't belong here. Whoa. And I've been working all year. I'm looking at the trophy with the long stare. When everybody's sitting in their lawn chair. I know that it's coming cause I know I don't belong here. Man, I ain't famous, I ain't never been the greatest, but I'ma say this, I ain't for your entertainment, I'm trying to make it, I ain't in it for the grind, let somebody place it, I've been staying for the cosign, not the playlist, I've been waiting for the go time, I'ma stay lit, I've been doing 2 a days up in mama basement, you behind and you gotta face it, I've been putting in the work just like my daddy said, and I've been working all year. And looking at the trophy with the long stare. While everybody's sitting in their lawn chair. I know that it's coming cause I know I don't belong here. Whoa. And I've been working all year. I'm looking at the trophy with the long stare. When everybody's sitting in their lawn chair. I know that it's coming cause I know I don't belong here. And I've been rocking since Coogee sweaters and Sadie's rides. And I've been scrappy since mama had me in 85. Without my pap, it was nappy, don't try to play me, guy. Cause Jordan was dropping double-doubles at Laney High. And I done got bigger, better, and faster. Papa made him a dog, that's why he call him the master. That's why he the shepherd over the pastures, never backwards. I've been putting in the work just like my daddy said. And I've been working all year. And looking at the trophy with the long stare. While everybody's sitting in their lawn chair. I know that it's coming cause I know I don't belong here. Whoa. And I've been working all year. I'm looking at the trophy with the long stare. When everybody's sitting in their lawn chair. I know that it's coming cause I know I don't belong here.
I grew up in church, and I'm going to make a statement that may startle you when you hear it, but I'm going to talk about it and prove it and demonstrate it, I think, from the Bible. The most resistant people throughout history to the grace of God have been religious people. Religious people. I say that is true biblically, and I've seen it true from my own experience.
Don't try to tell me I never been in the field, never been on the radar, never keeping it real. That's the reason I stay far ahead of the fray, cause you know where I'm at, and I'm ahead of the hard shells, so talk to the rats. I ain't never been that guy, I honor the facts. For a brother got baptized was harder to rap, for real. But when your father got a cross on his back, for every sin in the world, it's nothing harder than that. Every letter I serve, it's only God in the yap. Twitter game mean, I follow, he follow me back. He been working on my soul, so I'm running the track, and I don't never mind running it back. From glory to glory, I'm still here, still live part of the batch. He pardoned it all, homie, it's a bargain in that. He died for everything, so I'm honoring that. And when he coming for his bride, it's a guard of the catch. He finna mouse it, if it ain't good fruit, then he toss it. Pictured in the fire with the riff-raff, the Six Flag roller coaster riders who pondering if they sin bad. Seasonal faith will water down the letter of the gospel and compromise to make the kids laugh. No dunny, it's no funny. You cooking in the lake of fire, hoping he tossing over a rope, but you notice it ain't a boat. The aroma is something gross, and you know it's over. The quote and you read, but never lived out. Throwing all them stones like you living in the brick house, swearing it's a blessing or a lesson that you give out. But all I hear is hissing when you spitting out your big mouth. Nobody famous, so I'm not a hater. If you ever tell me that I'm cold, I won't ever play a dime. The fire in my bones told me never play around, and as long as I got it, I'ma always say the
crown ain't for me, it's for God and Yahweh. And Yeshua the Christ, not the God of Kanye. The one who paid price and he died, not a side of entree. 3 keep it a G, not a nod to Andre. I've been wanting to quit rap, missing the old thing. You know, tell the truth instead of sipping on codeine. And everybody clapping, the click clacking is cracking. Straps everywhere like a pair of Jabot jeans, and everybody high. The question is, if you pushing and pulling, homie, you the dealer, a dope fiend. I don't know what to tell them. It's only a smoke screen, so let me kick back while I listen to Osteen. A lot of y'all probably heard the last line thinking I'm a heretic, derelict. I don't read the Bible, cause if I did, then I wouldn't name dropping embarrassment like Osteen. My God can't fix any broke thing like a theology. Study your anthropology and brush up. Christ was beaten, broken for you. And if he all sovereign and he paid your deposit, then the blood good enough for Mr. Osteen too. Hey yo, when God flicked the light up on my old candelabra, I stopped being worried by the cold Panamera. Now I'm chilling with an angel face, sweeter than some angel cake, fly than some bathing apes, hide in amazing grace. It's a tough serve with crushed curves and plus sinning, or scruff herbs and tough burbs with plush Benzes. I decided I'ma veer to the ears of the streets and the peers of the peeps to preach. And homie, peep this. This ain't a club banger, homie, it's a sweet trip. A lot of soul and it's good in the whip. My grandmother never dug the rap music, but pray the grandbaby be as good as it gets. So if 2 or more gather, he gon' be in the midst. Even if it's hard seeing the fish, and if I do see him, hope I show a love, they don't flee and resist. But the only way to see the assist, I gotta do my daddy duties.
Okay, guys, I'm back with Live Show 58. Now, whoever watched what we was doing last week, still they'll be like, "Yo, Rog, you're by yourself, mate." You know, what happened to the crew? What happened to A-Dazzle? What happened to? Listen, can't believe my whole team is gonna Michael Passan, Shania, and DJ H all left me today, guys. I'm by myself. But either way, guys, I'm here. Today we're gonna do I got an interview set up, hopefully with God's willing, with Judith Denton in about 15-20 minutes, and we're gonna be talking about a subject which is gonna be a bit of an interesting one. It's about church hurt. And we'll get to the reason for this. Judith has released out a single, and something she mentioned the other day about church hurt, and something she said in her testimony in a video. You could say, "Oh, but she's not urban gospel," but you know what? Still, whether you're in or outside urban gospel, people got stories and journeys to talk about, and we've talked about Black Panther, so let's not go there. So, guys, we want to go through this journey with a lot of things. We could do loads of shows about church and stuff, and it's not just about bashing church, but we're going to see how the process is, how people have got through it, because church is a place full of people, and unfortunately when you have loads of people there, things can easily happen. The first track was called All Year by Gerard Saunders. Check him out. He's from the God Over Money crew, and he's doing his thing on there. So guys, check him out. He's definitely worth a good listen to there. And you're here on listening to the Live Show, and we live on Vine Juice Radio. Hi Vine Juice Radio listeners, to all the SoundClouders, the podcasters, the YouTubers, to the Instagram Live people, peace and love, and Facebookers out there still listening to the show right now. We really appreciate the love, and if you're listening back to the show, we even enough love anyway. So yeah, we'll play another track from Aaron Cole. Like myself and DJ H have to agree, this guy is banging out banging track after banging track. You try and not play his music, and you have to play his music because it's absolutely banging, so sorry guys if everyone's like, we're sick of Aaron Cole. How can you be sick of quality music? Quality music, true talk, real talk, let's keep it real. We're gonna take from the top here. We're gonna play a bit of Emotions, and we're gonna line up the interview with Judith Denton. I'm gonna do that right now while we're listening to Judith Denton, Aaron Cole, Emotions.
Yeah. Cole, what up? Another one. Look, I know. What's up? Real talk, you ain't fooling me. You been moving so sus. I don't even trust anything you're doing, B. Yeah, you don't let me, you just go through the motions. You don't let me, you just go through the motions. Yeah, you don't let me, you just go through the motions. You don't let me, you just go through the motions. I know. What's up? Real talk, you ain't fooling me. You been moving so sus. I don't even trust anything you're doing, B. You don't let me, you just go through the motions. motions. Yeah, you don't love me, you just go through the motions. Whoa, you don't love me, you just go through the motions. Yeah, you don't love me, you just go through the motions. God been blessing me lately. Yeah, only see 10s when they rate me. Yeah, grown women been calling me baby. Just cause she go to church don't mean she won't play me. Ayy, had to tell her that we better as friends. Yeah, she was tryna marry the kid. Yeah, I don't ever put trust in a man. Yeah, I only put trust in his hands. No feature less you the homie, I got a bag. So don't ask, grabbing feet like I'm Pac, I'm the man. Yeah, really tryna make God glad. Ayy, cause that's the only reason that I rap. Oh, I gotta go. Yeah, homie, I'm in a zone. Ayy, look, leaning on God too easy. You throw that word love around too freely. I know, what's up? Real talk, you ain't fooling me. You been moving so sus. I don't even trust anything you're doing, big. Yeah, you don't let me, you just go through the motions. You don't let me, you just go through the motions. Yeah, you don't let me, you just go through the motions. You don't let me, you just go through the motions. I know, what's up? Real talk, you ain't fooling me. You been moving so sus. I don't even trust anything you're doing, big. Yeah, you don't let me, you just go through the motions. Yeah, you don't let me, you just go through the motions. Whoa, you don't let me, you just go through the motions. Yeah, you don't let me, you just go through the motions. Oh, yeah, do your own thing. Oh, yeah, own thing. Yeah, I got love for you, but honestly, I don't really rub with you. Yeah, saying that you my brother too, but you ain't never doing what a brother do. Good God, it's holding me down.
Big up to Shania for exposing me to Chris Howland. Big DJ or producer. Check out this track, man. Get the vibe, let's get moving.
I know that life moves so fast, so my eyes are fixed on you, God. I know these trials won't last. My life is here with you, God. Gotta let go, no, you gotta let go. You gotta let go, no, you gotta let go. Gotta let go, no, you gotta let go. Gotta let go, and let God take control. You're holding me down, 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 down. 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 I know this time I spend here is only temporary, so I will trust in you, God. Go down these roads are scary. Live life, love God, think twice. Don't go on your own understanding, cause God is chilling in the sky. Behold the beauty of our King. Gotta let go, no, you gotta let go. You gotta let go, no, you gotta let go. Gotta let go, no, you gotta let go. You gotta let go, and let God take control. Take control. You're holding me down, 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 down. 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 All glory to the risen King, Montel Fish, Chris Howland. Say just clap and just clap.
Okay, right. I had to slide into some show love track, you know what I mean? Because we have to prepare our hearts for the conversation we're about to have with Judith, man. You got show love, man. We're going to talk about some hard stuff. We're going to keep on showing love. And this is 1K for you.
Name ringing on their ear. I'm on their neck this year. They wanna let me shine, bright like a chandelier. G's all over my gear. You got drip like tears. On the way up, stay humble, still show love to my peers. Flexing the right way, pose for the photo. I let them ride the wave, never been a showboat. Why we get all the hate, haters by the boatload. Nothing that they can say can stop me, that's a no-no. Hey, shooting my shot for real, I'm never gonna pump fake. Ran up the score, knew I would make it one day. On the way up, buckle up, we on the runway. Straight to the top, want me a ticket for one way. Show love, show love, show love. Show love, show love, show love. Let them hate all they want, show love. And when you finally come up, show love. Show love, show love, show love. Show love, show love, show love. When they don't want you to shine, show love. Just wait on your time to come up. Keep faith when you're down in your luck. Stay down till you come up. Gotta smile even when they mug you. Kill them when you show a little love. Want a bad and run it up. Tell them in God I trust. Roll it, pull it on my arm. Just can't squeeze that ball. It's been a while. Nothing comes overnight. Made it through the drought. Took a detour. Had to find another route. Cause I had to show them that they can't count me out. Can't count me out. Hey, shooting my shot for real. I'm never gonna pump fake. Ran up the score. Knew I would make it one day. On the way up, buckle up, we on the runway. Straight to the top, want me a ticket for one way. Show love, show love, show love. Show love, show love, show love. Let them hate all they want, show love. And when you finally come up, show love. Show love, show love, show love. Show love, show love, show love, yeah. When they don't want you to shine, show love. Just wait on your time to come up. Flexing the right way, pose for the photo. I let them ride the wave, never been a showboat. Why we get all the hate, haters by the polo.
Okay, guys, big up to Vessel Music there still. On the Instagram, everyone's vibing up to the tunes them. Select the watch more. And I mean, ask me a question for I sing in church. And the question is, not quite still. I kind of like play the bass guitar. So Michael dropped his track on us there last week, Michael Passan. And yo, I must meet vibes, man.
On the west side, feeling like a great. And I'm looking up to God like what a day. Thank you, God. I don't ever gotta worry about the hate. No. If it's ever any issue, then I skate. Vámonos cuando el DJ le da play. Dale play. Cada vez que ella me llama dice, hey, ¿cómo estás? ¿Dónde voy? Yo camino como rey. Agua viva, aquí no existe la ley. No. Sweet just like Tampico. She from Puerto Rico. We gon' take it slow like Despacito. Suave like I'm Rico. She said, ay bendito. How you keep it real? Still connecting with the people. That's Jesus. I'm on 10 with all the crew. Talked to God and he said, boy, you ain't never hitting snooze. No, that's Jesus. Heard the tribe is on the move. And my life is like a carnival, dog. This that Celia Cruz. On the west side, feeling like a great. And I'm looking up to God like what a day. Thank you, God. I don't ever gotta worry about the hate. No. If it's ever any issue, then I skate. Vámonos cuando el DJ le da play. Dale play. Cada vez que ella me llama dice, hey, ¿cómo estás? ¿Dónde voy? Yo camino como rey. Agua viva, aquí no existe la ley. No. Dice ven aquí, con el énfasis. Yo sé que nací para ser así. Yo un hijo de Dios, I ain't got no choice. Yo te canto en inglés and then en español. Yo tengo el flow de los cielos, todo lo que hago es eterno. infierno. Yo sé que yo no me quemo, es porque yo no lo miro. Dios a mi lado y yo sigo. Va preparando la mesa frente de mis enemigos. On the west side, feeling like a great. And I'm looking up to God like what a day. I don't ever gotta worry about the hate. No. If it's ever any issue, then I skate. Vámonos cuando el DJ le da play. Cada vez que ella me llama dice hey, ¿cómo estás? ¿Dónde voy? Yo camino como rey. Agua viva, aquí no existe la ley. No.
Yo, even, you know, it's kind of like, yo, I must admit, I love the hook, and I feel like, you know what I mean, I just want to go, eat that back and then, I need to work out these words, man, because, yo, that's a hook still, yeah. But on the Reach Records mode at the moment still, yo, we're going to be playing, I Ain't Done. You know what I'm saying? And I think that, you know what, still, yeah, no matter what happens, guys, yo, I ain't done. You know what I mean? Sorry, I'm playing all these hype pop tunes because we're going to some serious mode. So I want to bring everyone up while we're going to tear them, not tear them down, but, you know, just talk real talk around the place. But I ain't done, and too often, you know, whatever people say behind your backs, yo, just tell them straight.
I might turn up by myself. I don't need opinion, no, I did this for myself. Hey, I just remembered I'm dope, yeah. I just remembered I'm fly, yeah. They tryna say be humble, don't you know I'm made like God, yeah. All in my blood type, I was up straight for 100 nights. They done tryna get it done right. Compare myself down, never ever believe in myself, now I'm him again, yeah. Death to my depression and anxiety. Death to all my stress and what I'm trying to be. I'ma get live, cause I'm still alive. And if I ain't die, ain't no way I'm giving up. I ain't done. As long as the breath in my lungs, I ain't done. As long as this breath in my lungs, I ain't done.
Just came out of the winter. Just came out like a winner. Had a breakdown, could've stayed down, figure. Rather die trying than to live like quitter. Woo, yeah, my problem big, but I know God way bigger. What you expect once you level up? Don't you know the boss is bigger? Yeah, used to spend a lot of time daring myself. Then I spent a lot of time comparing myself. Turning to the doubt, then the fear of myself. Overthinking to the point I wasn't pairing myself. Now I know why Chappelle went missing. Now I know why Brick got the Clippers. Now I know why Ye started tripping. The pressure and the expectation get ya.
Oh, hell, if they don't like it, I might turn up by myself. I don't need opinion, no, I did this for myself. Hey. Death to my depression and anxiety. Death to all my stress and what I'm trying to be. I'ma get live, cause I'm still alive. And if I ain't die, ain't no way I'm giving up. I ain't done. As long as the breath in my lungs, I ain't done. As long as this breath in my lungs, I ain't done.
I know you feel like you can't change.
Okay, guys, right, I'm hoping to bring in Judith after this track, but SOS by V-Rose.
SOS, 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 I'm not okay. Don't know what to say. Don't you hear me pray? SOS, 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 I'm not okay. I don't wanna sing, so I'll send another prayer. Another a signal. Coming up for air again, shooting off a flare again. You hear me, you're na-na-na, Jamaica, ma-ma-ma-ma. I'm praying for land again, with all of my hair in hand. Really, that's word to the faith that I lost, to the way that I was lost. You died on the cross, and there I was trying to play the boss. Like, can't you bless all my moves? Can't you make all my moves move? That's how you lose. SOS, 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 I'm not okay. Don't know what to say. Don't you hear me pray? SOS, 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 I'm not okay. I don't wanna sing, so I'll send another prayer. Calling your name. I guess I was thinking maybe that I had some say in how you were saving me. Silent, but you still stay with me. And I see now how you was changing me. Cause I sent my distress, and those waves were the test. Cause I needed to wreck, I needed to wreck. And you needed me to know that I ain't rowing the boat, and I'm not running the show, and I needed to grow. You don't know what you'll be missing when you don't listen. When you don't listen, you don't know what you'll be missing when you don't listen. SOS, 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 SOS. Signal my distress. SOS, 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 I'm not okay. Don't know what to say. Don't you hear me pray? SOS, 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 I'm not okay. I don't wanna sing, so I'll send another prayer.
Okay, guys, right. I'm gonna bring in a conversation with Judith Denton. Let me just line it up. That's SOS with V Rose. And you know what, still, guys, yeah, somebody's actually put on my Instagram saying that, yo, Roger thinks he's in Miami. Right about now, the studio is hot. So, of course, I feel like I'm in Miami. And sorry, I'm gonna be playing tunes because we've never had a summer like this since I was born in 76. Yep. So, it's like, big up. You know, when man's are getting old still, they have to come back with it. It's taking 42 years to have another summer like this. But you know what, guys? That's so it got. But listen, I'm going to bring in a conversation. Let me just line up this. Let's line this up. Okay, hey, Judith, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, right. Judith, it's been an amazingly long time, and I'm going to introduce you and let's bring everyone the scenario because this is what we're going to be talking some real talk here, yeah? And,
yeah.
Right, guys, right. Judith hit me up about a couple weeks ago, and so I went onto your Facebook, sis, yeah, and I must admit I checked out this video, and you're saying about, you know, the single and the interview that you put online, yeah, and in YouTube, and something in the comments that really hit me was church hurt, hashtag church hurt, the way whenever I listened to the interview and whatsoever, and I was like, you know what, I know we're coming from probably church from the same generation, and there's a lot of untold, not so much stories, but untold hurt. You know what I mean? And it's almost like people don't believe what we've gone through, anything, because true. You know, because we grew up in you had an easy life, man. You was in church and you had a great time, and you know what I mean, you're so protected. And I'm thinking, if you only knew, if you only knew, you know what I'm saying, you know, and, you know, so as I said, welcome to the Lift Show. And on the Lift Show, we're live on Vine Juice Radio right now. We've got a podcast and so on, things that people can share in this conversation later on. But you know what, sis, you know, really, this is about putting out knowledge that people can be blessed by, and to move forward in their own lives, not feel like so isolated. Because, you know, as we was growing up, sis, we grew up and we just seen these perfect adults in church, and they were like so perfect that we're thinking that they've never done nothing wrong in their life. Yeah. Yes. And they're like, oh, they're so holy. And I mean, when you get older, you go, hold on a second, you've got 7 picnic and 2 of them look totally different to the rest of them. And you know, you couldn't say nothing, you know. You couldn't say nothing until you're older. And you have to wait till you're 35 until you get told, yeah man, so no, they got a different surname. Like, really? Really? You couldn't have told us the pain of that life, yeah? You know, when we was younger, and wait until we're big people before, you know what I mean, they tell us that they know the journey. So this is what it's about, sis, man. But first of all, it's been a very long time. But what's been happening, sis, man? What you been up to?
So we used to know each other when I used to live in Birmingham, and we used to work on the gospel music scene. Roger did his thing, I did my, I think it was Showtime Gospel Promotions.
Showtime, yes, Showtime, Showtime, yes.
So
yeah, man.
I moved from there, went through a period of crisis time, I would say. Yeah. And God moved me from Birmingham to London. Been living in London since 2002. Here I've been on, I would say, my own personal journey with God, where he's really stripped away the old kind of mentalities of how I thought church was supposed to be, or church life, or being a Christian, should I say, should be, and just helped me to be the real me, but the real me that's a person who's saved by God's grace. And yes, I don't get it right every single day. I make mistakes. I did when I was younger. I still do to this very day. But God's grace and his forgiveness has taught me to live a life that will please him. Yeah. And that's true to him. So in moving to London, I have set up 2 social enterprises. One where I work with looked after kids. One's called the Transformed You, where I mentor looked after children, because I was from a looked after background myself. Okay. And then I also set up another social enterprise called the Strong and Beautiful Project, where I'm empowering women to find their voice and go after and live their dreams. And as you know, I'm a singer and songwriter, and also a speaker, sharing my story of how God has brought me through the hard times and still carrying me through those not so good times, and letting me live a life that shines for his glory. So that's what I've been doing since I last saw you.
Wow. And we actually, you know, you mentioned we did stuff together in Birmingham, but actually known you from your Bristol past as well. Remember we're going back to Bristol when we come down, and my wife was singing down at one of your events in Bristol as well. So
that's right. Showtime, we had it in Bristol.
Yeah, that's it. and we obviously know Louis Williams, and you know, we helped you out as well with the drums and the websites. And listen, Jeff, when I talk online, and actually people don't believe what the internet was like when we was starting out. It's nothing like what it is now.
It was non-existent. It was a phone call.
It was like,
and it's a phone bot, the red phone bots, and the Tony P. Roger, can you do this?
Listen, man. Like, people don't realize, like, sending a track to me was like, oh my gosh, I gotta send it in the post. I gotta do this. Now it's like 2 seconds, bam, 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 bam. There's the email, and people don't realize these times anyway. Yeah, but apart from sounding like we're from the dark ages. But that's great. But no, you put out a single, but we do greatly like want to talk about your music and whatever. But this is something that I felt like over the years, sis. Yeah, the artists kind of got it kind of wrong in the industry. Is that is that we focus so much on the actual product that we forget the person that's putting into it. Yeah, and the person is putting it, and especially something that's not, we treat it as popular, but when you write songs, it's actually a rarity industry wise, and to write your own songs and to sing it as well, you know what I mean, there's got to be a person behind this, and there's a person for it. Now I've watched the video, and great video it was in terms of the interview. Well, not so much the interview, but when he was actually giving your mindset behind the track and whatsoever. Now you were things happen in life, and the stuff happen and whatsoever. So was that is the single itself, is it about your journey in Christ, or what's it all about, the track itself?
Yeah, the song. Well, there's 2 tracks, but I know the track you're talking about. It's For Your Glory.
For Your Glory. Sorry.
And
Go for it. Go. Sorry.
Yeah.
For Your Glory. Go
it
for
was
it.
The track. I know that you're referring to is called For Your Glory, and the song is about myself. And I always want to let people know why I write music, because I'm always intrigued whenever I hear a song. I'm like, oh wow, why did they write this? What did they go through? I mean, what made them come up with those lyrics that they wanted to tell the story? So when I wrote that song, I didn't know that I was telling a story, because at that time my life, nothing happened significantly at that time for me to recognize that the song was part of my journey. So the song being part of my journey, called For Your Glory, was that, yes, you were saying before, I was brought up in church, and you know, everybody acts like, or it looks like everyone's living a crystal clear Christian life. No one does anything wrong, and if you do anything wrong, someone could be preaching about it the following week to say they saw you, or you know, someone could walk past you in church and give you a little dirty look and so forth. But for me, why that song became significant, because I was brought up in church and I felt a bit ostracized growing up in church, because I wasn't the, you know, I wouldn't say that the popular kid, because it's not about popularity in church, but because I always spoke my mind and I didn't always agree with people. And yes, I had a little bit of an attitude as a kid growing up. I didn't always toe the line or say yes to everything that I didn't, that if I didn't agree with it, I would say no, I didn't agree. But then sometimes people would misunderstand who you are as an individual, not want to try and understand you, but would want to try and say, no, it's either you do this or
else.
we're going to give you the silent treatment. So you can go to church sometimes and have that silent treatment. But as I will always say, what I've learned, life is life. You're going to be around people who are great people are not so great, whether they're in church or outside the church. You're going to really come across different characters and different personalities. But for some reason, we always think that in the church, we will not come across personalities. Everybody will love you. Everybody will say hallelujah to you at the same time. They'll love on you, invite you to their house every week. It's not like that. But there are some great people. But what we have to learn, same way when we go to work, we have to learn how to get on with people and find our friends. So the journey for me was, there were some people I just didn't get on with, but I didn't know at that time how to deal with that. So because I didn't get on with a certain group of people, I decided that, you know what, I'm not going back to church anymore, because every week I'm going in and saying hi, and I'm felt with some animosity, or someone saying hello, but you don't feel the genuineness of them saying hello. And I was like, if I don't feel like I'm being welcome or being accepted here, why am I here? I was hurt by what people would say, because, you know, I was also my foster mom, she was very well known in the church, and I was saying to somebody the other day, she wasn't a pastor's wife or anybody like that, but because she was very influential in the church, and because I was her foster child, because she had this picture of perfection about her, people would think that if I messed up, then I was getting it. Deacons were coming at me. People were coming at me. How could you be like that? You're out of order. You're rude. So if I tripped up, if I made a mistake, if I looked the wrong way, they'd be coming for me.
Man,
they'd be coming for me. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to give you the opportunity to come for me no more. You won't see me. So I decided to stay home. So I did for a very, very long time. And as I said on the interview that I did, there was no streaming any church back then. It was watching songs of praise. So I'd be at home watching songs of praise.
No TBN and none of that, man. You know,
none of that. No streaming, no church. It was just nothing. Straight TV, no nothing. And it wasn't that I didn't love God. Let me get this out there. I love God, but it was just the people I could not take. Some of the attitudes. I wouldn't say I was perfect, because I wasn't perfect, but they were older than me. And as a kid, you expect the adults to sort of say, okay, all right, let's try and resolve this. Let's try and deal with this. But nobody did. It's like going to members meeting and hearing your name being called up in members meeting because you were rude to a deacon the other week. Hello? You're going to say that in a members meeting? And I remember me being myself, stood up to defend myself, and my foster dad just said, sit down. Don't say anything. I'm like, wait, can't I defend myself? Can't I say what I said? What I said? No, sit down. So it was like, well, you know what? So it's like, you know what? I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
Because if I can't say how I feel, if someone's not going to hear me, then I might as well just not be here, because this can't be right.
Wow.
So it was a case of going through that I became ill. There was a lot of other things going around, so I wouldn't say it was just because of what was going through in church where I became ill. My whole life was, you know, coming through care. A whole lot of stuff in me hadn't settled. I hadn't made peace with, you know, why I was in care, what I was going through. So, you know, going through that church hurt as well was part of the puzzle, or part of the brokenness in my life that needed to be healed. So I then, all that culminated, and I would say, you know, my life, church life, my personal life, everything culminated, and my emotional well-being kind of exploded, and it just went poof, without control. So I was hospitalized for 2 weeks, and I was living in Birmingham at the time, so I was in a hospital in Birmingham.
Okay, cool.
And they were trying to work out what was wrong, what was happening. Doctors were coming in to check what was happening. No one really knew. They just know that my mental well-being wasn't the same as it was, as people knew me before. But God miraculously turned that around to the point that I was only in the hospital for 2 weeks, and when I was leaving, the doctor couldn't understand how the miraculous recovery that I had made from the time that I had got in there. Because when I got in there, Roger, I'm going to be very serious, I didn't even know my own name. I couldn't describe who I was to anybody. It was almost like there was a block, and it was almost as if I had gone right back to when I was age 9 and was experiencing all the trauma that I was going through at age 9, and everyone was trying to talk to me about who I was at age 30 at that time, but I was only conversing to them as a 9-year-old. So when it came time for me to leave the hospital 2 weeks later, the doctors couldn't understand how in 2 weeks I'd come to myself, and there was no medication. I will say they tried to administer medication. I refused it. So because I refused it, they didn't force it. So it was just, I would say God came in and just released me from whatever I was holding back then, and then I was able to come out. But then when I was out of the hospital, God kind of said to people around me, she needs to go to counselling to go and sort out what she's been holding on to for most of her life. So it was the process of counselling and mentors who came alongside me when I began to talk about the hurt I felt as a child, the hurt I felt growing up through church, the hurt I felt growing up through in life. They began to come alongside me and said, we need to deal with that. And I was like, what do you mean deal with it? That happened years ago. I'm not going back in time to talk to no one. I'm done. And they were like, no, you have to go back and resolve that brokenness with the people who are still alive, and make peace with that, whether they hear you or not. That's something that you need to do. You need to forgive them, so that healing can take place in your entire life, in your mind, your soul, your spirit, your body. Because sometimes if we don't deal with her, it comes through our body in sickness, and that was what was trying to hold. That was what was trying to manifest itself in my life. So in going back home to Bristol and meeting with people and saying I was sorry, and then telling them how I felt when they said certain things to me, it kind of it brought a healing freeness to my mind, to my body, to my soul, and to my spirit. So, and then the song For Your Glory got me to realize that yes, I will go through good times and I will go through the bad times, but God is in the midst of all of that. He just wants us to deal with it. He doesn't want us to put it under the carpet, or hide behind a mask and say, yeah, I'm fine, because then we become this, I would class it like a snowball that just gets bigger and bigger, rolling from church to church, rolling from relationship to relationship, rolling from workplace to workplace, rolling from family event to family, and you're still hurt. And God doesn't want us to be like that, rolling from situation to situation. He wants us to heal, go and resolve it. Resolve it and forgive the person, get them to forgive you. And if they don't, release them and keep moving on and keep living that purpose-driven life. Because if we don't, we will, I would say, my personal opinion on that, if we don't sort of deal with our brokenness and our hurt, how can we then pour out effectively to the people that we're here to and here to be a light, because the Bible says we're a light, to this world, and we're the salt on this earth. How can we do the job that God's given us to if we're still triggered by someone says, oh, somebody says somebody's name who hurt you 20 years ago, or you start to twitch when you hear that person's name because you haven't dealt with that brokenness. So that was the whole essence of writing For Your Glory. I needed to pen that to say, okay, God, I understand through that journey. I need to, deal with every brokenness, deal with all the hurt, deal with it, find the people, and if I can't find them, pray for them, bless them, even though that hurts. How can you pray? Pray for your enemies, Judith. Yes, pray for them. The Bible says pray for them, and when you see them, do good to them, and let them, when there's a bit in the Bible where it says if somebody offends you, take somebody with you and talk to that person, and let them know that you've been hurt. But a lot of people don't want to do that because of fear. Maybe it's a pastor or somebody who's got a title in the church. Everybody feel like they'll be looked down on. How dare you come and tell me that I've hurt you? Look at all the things that you've done. Yes, we'll take responsibility for our actions, but here's a situation where we want to talk. Let's talk this thing through so that we can all heal and keep moving forward without the mask, so that God can be glorified in everything we do. And I feel that this is something that we need to do as a people, not just as a church, but as society, as a people, to make sure that we're living our purpose-driven lives that God has created us to live.
Wow. Yeah. And this is absolutely crazy. And you know what? A lot of points. So ultimately, it's like what you're saying, sis. I really appreciate you being on, because I can even tell from the testimony. It's like you're almost putting your cards on the table and saying to people, you shouldn't be bound by your past. Yeah.
Yes.
And
yes.
I always say to people, and I was even talking to someone today about continuing what I'm speaking to a lot of people outside of who are left the church. Yeah. And and they're in the similar sort of situation where expectation is you come into a church and you're meant to get better, but unfortunately there's a lot of sick people coming into church, and if there's not effective medicine there, you find a lot of sick people making each other sick. I remember when I was watching a program about having a child in Victorian times. It was the rich people will go into hospitals, but what did they realize? That there's more disease flying around in hospitals that made it worse than the midwives that used to go into the villages and farms and just have the baby right there and then go back home. And that was much of a clean environment. And sometimes it's very hard, even though we want to encourage everyone to go to church, but but something that I would have to say is a challenge publicly as the church, to the church, is that we gotta learn from our mistakes.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I feel that not enough bodies have within our community. And I have to be honest, because we're both coming from a similar Caribbean-led church kind of background. Yeah. They just there's a lack of knowledge when it comes to the effects on people's mental well-being, and I have to realize is that they're not safe places, and they're not, it's just not about just shouting at people and shouting at spirits and casting out and then that's it, they're sorted, and it's a journey, you know what I'm saying, you know what I mean, and people do not want to understand that we need to be going with journeys. It may take 2 weeks to go through a journey, or it may take 5 years, and that miracle that you had in your life in terms of being in a and I don't know if I'm going to say it correct way, almost having a crisis, a mental crisis, and seeing God pull you out of that. There's some people that they never come out of it, sis. They're stuck there, and it's God who got you out of it. But the reality of the show is that that from you as a child got I don't know why you went into care, but obviously there's a situation why you went into care, and the support frameworks within the body was almost ignorant, like you're not by accident or chance, and we don't, anything that goes against what I say, we have a problem with in church. So if my doctrine says this, or if my leadership says this, if you say something against it in a respectful manner or even disrespectful manner, we tend to either push out, we don't want to hear, let's go whatever pastor says, and not realize that, hold on a second, we need to kind of like, let me explain properly. And we're coming from the times this year, people are blessed today, no one ever used to explain to us, and all we had, and I know I'm talking very dark age here, All we had was the King James Version Bible, you know what I mean, and the doctrine book, and that's all we had. As you know what I mean. Now there's so much knowledge.
And the Strong's Concordance.
Oh Lord, that was, there's only one version that's in the pastor's house. You know, you have to get past the pastor, you know what I mean, and get into that big room. We have to open it and go, yo, what's this about? You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you know, the reality of the situation is that, you know, and I want to be open about this with everyone. Is like, I even do right now. I'm looking into certain things in terms of mental health, and we're too scared to talk about it within the church circles.
Because when I went through it, I can come in here, because when I went through it, not everybody in the church understood that I had had a crisis that led to my mental well-being not being great. So you had people, and I will be honest here, I had people trying to come up to me and cast out demons. I had people coming up to me and trying. It wasn't nice. It wasn't nice. And I think that almost got me to feel really embarrassed about what I was going through. But thank God for my mentors and those who were very discernful, who just came alongside me and said, Judith, it's not that. Because I could have walked around thinking, oh my God, I'm demon possessed, and every minute someone, because they didn't understand what I was going through. But then thank God there are some people in church who are therapeutically, how can I say, qualified. So they saw that it wasn't about it wasn't a spiritual battle. It was a mental battle where emotionally something had gone wrong and needed to be sorted out. And that thing that needed to be sorted out came through prayer, but it also came through the practical steps of counseling. And that pulled me through. So sometimes in church, no, they don't understand. And some people don't want to talk about it. But thank God in this 21st century, there are some churches, and I will thank God for them, who are facing this. I think because maybe that people with mental health issues are coming into the church nowadays. They are there. You see, if you're in tune, you can see people with mental health issues walking up. Those who, you know, they're not just shouting hallelujah because, you know, we're all doing it. But there are some people who there is something that's quite not, you know, together with them, and we need to be sensitive to that, and know how to really minister, if that's the right word, or cover them, or talk to them and counsel them and support them through that process, and not want to ostracize them and feel like, oh, they're unclean, like, you know, and can't be touched and can't be spoken to.
No, this conversation is a total utter blessing. Like I said to you, just treat it as a conversation on the phone, and I know you have.
Yes.
You've treated it like some conversation. Listen, guys, I haven't spoken to Judith Denton for about a minute, you know, like for a minute, if not 20 minutes, turning to 20 years. Like, you know, we ain't spoke, years. You know what I'm saying? We ain't spoke to each other for time, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And, you know, but straight away, this is the vibe I got straight away from that interview, and just seeing where you're at. I'm like, yo, this is great to see, you know, in one sense, that a positive coming out such a crisis scenario. Now, I'm going to play a track, sis, Now, if you don't mind holding on for me,
Yes, I'll hold on.
You know what I mean? And what I want to break into, and people might think, oh my gosh, you're not going to, you're going into something real deep, but we need to have opportunities where we can have this conversation that people can listen to in the future, sis, that know that it's not a lonely journey that they're going on, and it's a case of understanding that we need to break down some of the elements that add into a crisis situation, you know. And I want to hone into, and I'm not just I don't want to be bashing church, but the actual bullying that you faced within church. And I have to say, you know, people might bullying, this is the house of God, but from what let's call it what it is, being bullied in church. From a scenario that you're going into, you know, you go into care, when you go into church, and you're looking to be technically fixed, if they say, in one sense, but you're going into more bullying on top. You know what I mean? It doesn't really help the situation at all. But hold on for us, and I'm gonna. I thought I'll feed you into that, and let's. I don't know. You probably looked into the details, and let's name it for what it is. For me, it's bullying, but you know, we'll touch base about that. If you can hold on for us, sis, and we're gonna go into this next track, man. Bless you, man. Hold on.
We was way down in the garden. We was like,
okay, guys, we're gonna relax, set up the next half of the show, and we'll play in the garden, and we're gonna go into bullying a bit back in church with Judith Denton, yeah? But enjoy the vibes, get ready, get cups of teas, Insta people. I'm going to be flicking off and coming back on and watch your space.
The enemy saw this. We was with God in the garden. We was like God in the garden. We knew that he loved us. We was with God in the garden. We was like God in the garden. The enemy saw this.
I love you to death's definition is here. Infinitely owned, so no limits inherited here. Definitely paired, cause poverty swears demonic affairs. They get jealous, they catch you alone and whisper in air. Your friends, I mean devil gon' tell you that I don't love you. He gon' say I'm keeping from you to hold you down from my level. In other words, I'm cheating, therefore you should find another. Bunch of lies, gossip, and hatred brewing with each other. I'm good though, I know you gon' come when I call. They get sick when they observe how healthy we are. They get jealous when they see what they loving ain't real. They hate your smile, they want you over there frowning with them. Sad. I ain't pointing fingers, now that ain't my style. Just like the father of lies, they looking like his child. I believe the love we got is special. Please don't buy the lie they sell you. Just replay the truth I tell you.
We was with God in the garden. We was like God in the garden. We knew that he loved us. We was with God in the garden. We was like God in the garden. The enemy saw this. We was with God in the garden. We was like God in the garden. We knew that he loved us. We was with God in the garden. We was like God in the garden. The enemy saw this.
By any means of this will in my human being, I will fight to keep my eyes on the sight. You fight it for me. No berry can bleed. Redder than cherry, you carry me. Prophetic the tree, you was the only fruit I would need. But man, I chose the wrong one. Dance with the devil, now I'm hiding from you since the song done. Explicit lyrics and all, go get and talk. No problem with solved. You overlooked my flaws, saw my bad taste, gave me the salt. Never got salty with me, never got sour either. Snap me back in rhythm, now we stepping and happy people. Ain't too many happy people since King died. Seems like the dream died. That's why I'm always awake and alert on King Drive. Back to the garden I go, creep through the gardens real slow. Cause ain't no time in my schedule to deal with snakes, so I roll a couple sevens, my hands better, I bet them. Don't show them, I never fold them. Overcome when I quote them saying,
we was with God in the garden. We was like God in the garden. We knew that he loved us. We was with God in the garden. We was like God in the garden. The enemy saw this. We was with God in the garden. We was like God in the garden. We knew that he loved us. We was with God in the garden. We was like God in the garden. The enemy saw this. We was with God in the garden. We was like God in the
Okay, guys, for the guys who don't know, we are talking to Judith Denton, and we're going to bring her on in 2 secs, and we are talking about church hurt. I bet the church says amen. So, like, guys, we're going to be looking into this, and we're going to be touching base. You know, we've already had a great conversation. It's gone, half an hour's gone quick, and we're going to flip back on to Judith, and we're going to be, that track there was a Silas Hamilton, and it was Garden, In the Garden. Check out that track, a good vibe there still, guys, but definitely I'm going to bring back in Judith. Judith, can you hear me, sis?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, that's sweet. Right, sis, now, all right, let's get to it. Right, great conversation so far, sis, man, absolutely great. And I you know, the joke is, before we go into it, yeah, there is people know that I listen to Talk Sport. Yes, I'm a man, yeah. I listen to Talk Sport all the time, yeah. But there's a beautiful section to do now, yeah, which they have a psychotherapist. He talks to different successful sportsmen, yeah, and he interviews them for an hour on a Sunday. Yeah, so one Sunday I was in the garden listening to talk to a referee and actually go from his upbringing of being the breadwinner in a house where his mum was addicted to gambling, and he's turned his life around. Now he heads the Qatar refereeing situation in Qatar, and he's absolutely smashing it, you know. And but to go through what he had to battle with, it's mentally, it's a battle as well, you know what I mean. And I think that you know, it's really great them actually in sport now recognizing from a mental perspective what people have to face The pressures and expectations and not dealing with past situations as of how they affected them, and actually affected them in negative, but also at the same time, situations actually helps to develop resilience in us for the future as well. So if you people think, are probably listening thinking, Roger, how you know these big words? Because unfortunately I have to study it now and again, you know. So it's actually great with that. So just talking to yourself, I'm not feeling like a psychotherapist at all, but I am definitely not that deep on it still. But it's absolutely fantastic, because it's something which the mental damage of what happens when you're in a place of so-called safety is can be destroying. And I struggle to see too many people within our Caribbean, when I'm focusing on our Caribbean community, that are broken. And not only their will is broken, their health is gone and whatever, they're still and we had an opportunity to input into them. So this conversation for me is another conversation for people to open their eyes and actually realize that health wise, physically, if I said I had a cold, people would be like, oh yeah, but that's a physical health issue. But if I've got an extreme situation like cancer, that's the same physical health. It's just different variations on the same spectrum, and we have to realize that we do face in our life through pressures and sickness that are to do with our mental well-being, you know. And but we're not allowed to say that too loud, but I just you'll say, you know, because if I said put your hands up if you've gone through mental struggles, no one puts their hand up. no one admits it, you know what I mean? But the reality show is that we face pressures beyond craziness, and it's great to be a support towards them, you know. But sis, right, so you mentioned before that you was in church and people said certain things and whatever and whatsoever. Now, if you don't mind me asking, what sort of things were, and I think that I can bring on conversations what I've had with other people, but I'm talking to you per se now, but like what would people say in terms of bullying wise? What would you class as and if you don't mind me terming it bullying, when you was in church? What were people actually saying?
Okay. So I think I was like to know what the definition of something is. So if I look at the definition of bullying, it means, you know, somebody who's superior or has influence and is using that position to intimidate you and trying to force you to do something that you don't want to do, or force you to believe or think the way that, you know, might not be comfortable for you to be believing in. So I'll give you one scenario of, you know, people in superior positions, or thinking that they're in superior positions. Sometimes when they're older than you, they think they're superior anyway. But we won't go there. So you know what I mean. But I think one scenario that really stands out to me, and I will never forget this, is I remember one time I had a clash with one of the sisters at my church, and she's old now. I'm a teenager. And, you know, if I disagreed, I would say, excuse me, but I disagree. You can't talk to me like that. No. So it was, and I think because I said to her, sorry, you can't talk to me like that. And I think I wasn't being rude, but maybe she thought I was being rude, but I was just trying to say to her, because, you know, in some cultures, you can't talk to certain people in a certain way. You have to come to them in the Caribbean culture. You know, sister so and so, I just like to say, you know, blah blah blah. but I was like sister so and so, I disagree, and I'm not agreeing with that, and you can't talk to me like that. So the shock of it, she wanted to go and talk to my foster mum about it, but my foster mum wasn't around for some reason that Sunday. She just wasn't around. So the following week, I was sat with my friend in church, and you know, when, you know, the same sister you had a clash with is up on the pulpit preaching, and then all of a sudden, you know, she didn't have to say my name, but it was a case of when some parents have some unruly children who want to talk to you in certain ways, and she kind of got this scripture to back it up, and we have to pray that God's will, and I was like, what? And you know when your friends kind of knew,
Yeah.
they all looked at me, and certain adults looked at me, you know, kind of shocked, this uncomfortable vibe in church and people turning around. I just went outside.
No.
I just said to myself, no. I just went outside.
No.
I went outside and I thought to myself, really? But at that time, I didn't think in church. I just thought, really, is this normal? Is this for real? So I went outside and I stayed outside until church finished.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came back in and I sat down. And it was the nice thing about it, which, you know, if there can be a nice thing about it, there were certain adults who just came. And you know how this goes, Roger. They don't say anything, but they rub you in your back. They rub your back.
Yeah. Bless her, Lord. Bless her.
So
Bless her.
Some people come up to me and they're rubbing my back. And I'm like, why are you rubbing my back? And then some of my friends are like, are you all right? We know she's preaching about you. Are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, but then, you know, that wasn't sort of, and it always was like the norm in the church I was growing up in. It's like, yeah, the church was great. I loved it. You know what I mean? There were some great times I had in church that was jokes. You know, sometimes in church you can get the most jokes. But when it was those dark times where people didn't get on, people would use the pulpit to tell you that they don't like you. They wouldn't come to you and want to, you know, resolve it and sit with you and say, you know, you upset me the other day. If they were preaching that day, they'll be telling you from the pulpit, using the scripture, but not saying your name, to say, I don't like you, or, you know, what you did was wrong, and you need to come and talk to me. And they use the scripture to back it up. Some people used to testify, and you know, it was, you know, Amazing Grace, sit down or say certain things in their testimony. This code, this code where they talk about how somebody hurt them, but it was code that they, you know, it was like they chucked the darts back at you, but under cover. But if you knew, if you were the person that was getting the dart, you knew that they was talking about you. So that was a kind of intimidation. So what do you do as a child? Do you go and say, well, you know, I heard what you said, and, you know, I'm really sorry. I didn't do any of that. I just said, you know what, it's not right. And you can't go up in the pulpit and talk about me like that. It's definitely not right. And I grew up seeing people being talked about like that on the pulpit. And as you said before, just leave. They never came back. But they loved God, but just didn't want to be around the church circle. Just didn't want to be around that.
Quick question. How old were you about? I know you probably can't give me the exact day, or how old was you around when that happened to you?
How old was I? I was in my teens. I was in secondary school.
So you wasn't even left school?
I was in secondary school. I wasn't in college yet. I was in secondary school. Wow. So I'm a teenager, just, you know, trying to boss life. But, you know, trying to, you know, flex myself and trying to come to terms with being in care and just, you know, having my own, what I thought was my identity. You know, trying to look after myself as well. At the means, trying to defend myself, because, you know, when that safety net of your family's not around you, even though you've got a foster family, but at the same time you're trying to defend and look after yourself. You know, become a survivor, and you know, no, you can't talk to me like that. What you're trying to, you know, when you should have had that protection around you, you're doing it yourself. So I was in my teens at the time. But it was just a case of, you know, sometimes people, you know, you must respect me. You're the child. Yes, I must respect you. But come on, you know, try to
correct.
You know, try to create a good relationship, so I can, you know, naturally respect you, naturally want to love you as my elder, naturally want to come to you and find that safe place in you. I didn't find that safe place in some people in the church, and I found that safe place then I did find it in some people. But it was just the balance, as I said, in this world. We're dealing with human nature, and we're dealing with characters. So I don't know what that sister, you know, had gone through when she was growing up, and maybe she thought that was the norm because she'd probably seen it, you know, happen in church. Somebody else had probably had some altercation with somebody else and went on a pulpit and sort of decided to chuck their darts. So she thought, oh, it's my turn now. I'm going to chuck my darts on a few people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for real.
It's the balance. And as you were saying before, we need to have that, you know, way of method in the house of God to learn how do we deal with conflict, how do we deal with not losing some really great, gifted, talented, anointed, purpose-driven people from the house of God. Because when I used to work in the corporate industry, there was a way that you dealt with if you were upset with even your manager, and you felt that your manager didn't wasn't doing something right, there was a way within the banks that I worked with. You can go and sit with them during your review or your appraisal and say, look, say to manager, you did this and I didn't quite like it, and he'd be able to say, okay, let me see how I can resolve that so we can work together to make sure that this company we're working for profits. I think that same model can be used in the house of God. We can sit together, and work out our differences, and then either agree to disagree, but, agree to work together so we can continue to fulfill the mission of saving, witnessing and saving souls, and fulfilling our purpose on this earth, whatever that may be, until God returns or until he calls us home. Yeah. So there is a way we can, if we really want to. And that's the question, do we want to? Because when we are dealing with conflict and we're dealing with people, it's hard work to want to make, to sort of sit with somebody. You're making yourself vulnerable in front of somebody who has potentially hurt you, and you probably have hurt that person too. So it's bringing two people together who, don't want to be in the same room, but said, you know what, we're going to do this so that God will get the glory at the end of the day.
Wow. And you know what was a beautiful thing is that, when you was just talking to us and you're talking about how that lady that went on the pulpit and said that, listen, I said that thing and actually bullied you from the pulpit, you even broke down that she could have been operating because of her past history experience. And this is what my issue is that we're so judgmental, so unapathetic. Before we comment about someone's actions, have a think of what actually created that situation. Now you're coming from a situation from I don't know exactly in terms of your foster care situation that you're coming into. The reality show is there's a foster parents within the church circles. Now, when they bring children into the church, these are children that haven't had things as straight and normal as the so-called perfect family aspect is. You know what I mean? You grow up with your parents until they're a certain age and you move on or whatever. So straight away, there needs to be, and we know, your safeguarding procedures in there, and people, welfare officers, people in place. We have got people in our bodies that got this ability, are qualified, but we seem to run a certain way outside on Monday to Saturday. And when it comes to Sunday, I'm going to put it out there, guys. Listen, guys, my biggest problem in a lot of our churches is that we've got so many professionals within the welfare system, within the NHS, within the system, but when it comes to Sunday morning or Sunday morning nowadays, because no one don't go Sunday evening service, I said it, you know what I mean? And when it comes that time, they go back to the 50s. You know what I mean? They're like, dude, the other day you're in charge of welfare, mental health in the whole of the country, and then you come to church and you behave the way you're behaving. Come on, man, you know better than this. You know what I mean? You're here you didn't learn that knowledge just to keep it outside, and you leave it at the door, and you come into the body of Christ. You bring this knowledge to our circles. But I just love the way it is that you haven't carried on that methodology which you had against yourself. Now and I think that it's so easy to. Now I would again when we talked about the internet before, and we said from our generation, we just thought like, dark ages, but ultimately as well, we've seen a generation where we grew up, we looked at gigantic churches, New Testament, prophecy, gigantic churches, to see what it is today, to see the same children that we grew up with in our early teens, that literally out of 10 people, only one is still in the body of Christ. It's a testament to say that something went wrong. That's the reality. I'm saying it, guys, that something went wrong. How could there's a massive issue now within certain circles that people at our age, and I'll be honest, guys, I'm 42. We are not lining up to be ministers. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? We are not there, and the reason why is we're not there. We are not in church. My generation. I want to say, and it sounds sad. I'm not saying there's no guys my age. But the reality show is that we lost too many people because of bullying, because of you know what I mean, and they go through and people not having understanding, empathizing, you know what I mean? Put yourself in their shoes. Now you put yourself in that lady's shoe to have a look at her upbringing and thinking that how she kind of impacted in your life, you know, and I really love that mindset. And you know, but people, please realize that, please, empathy is one of the greatest gifts you can have, and it's biblical as well, you know what I'm saying? And I encourage everyone, don't just do things because it's what happened to you. Even the way that we've been disciplined within certain communities, you know, it's just hand me down, it's bitterness, it's anger from it sounds harsh, slavery, physical abuse at sometimes. And I'm not saying that, you know, our parents are evil, or wrong, our grandparents, our great grandparents, but they just did what all they knew. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's all they know, and we just need to break this cycle now. You know,
that's right.
You know what I mean, and move on and whatsoever. Now, right, we're having a fantastic convo. Now we have to remember the old saying, we have to come down now. I'm coming down. And it was like, oh Lord, that means there's an altar call to come. Yes, we're gonna do altar call. We're gonna get some emotional blackmailing music that will make you feel bad. I said to someone today, I said, I'm gonna get, what I should do is find some Winans, and you remember that song, Tomorrow I Give My Life. Drop that at the end, and the altar call is full. Altar call music there, right there, you know. And the reason why Julie
running for your life, I tell you.
And you're like this, man. The altar full, you know.
I tell you.
So we guys, the reason why Julie is laughing so hard because you've seen it so often, that song being used. Right at the end, you know, by somebody who can't sing it properly, but but they're doing their best, man. They're doing their best. But it's definitely crazy. But now, in terms of music, sis, now, are you looking to put out an album, or what's the next move anyway, music wise? You got the 2 singles out now. You got the track with Cornova, and you've got For Your Glory, and and what's the next move for yourself? Because great testimony, great heart, great. What's going on? What's next for you?
So what next for me is I think music is the soundtrack of my journey. So there are other experiences that I have had, you know, on this life, and there are a few more tracks that I'll be working on between now and next year. So I don't know if it's gonna be an album, but I do know that there are tracks that relate to my journey that will have a story that will impact and inspire and enlighten and empower people to know that whatever they're going through, they can not get stuck in the middle of it, but they can come out and live a fruitful and beautiful, purpose-driven life. Wow. So there won't be an album as far as I know. Well, I don't think there will be, but there'll be songs with stories. And you know, I've got on YouTube the story behind the music. That's where the link will be. I will always put a story behind the music to let people know why I wrote the song, to encourage others to keep moving forward. Don't get stuck in your journey. Learn to know, get to know who you are, be self-aware about, you know, what God has called you to do, placed you on this earth to do, why you exist, I would say, your purpose, and go out and live it. Yes, you know, there'll be ups and downs, but through my music, it's going to help to pull you through or guide you through or keep you moving forward until.
But sis, I'll be honest with you, I've been this conversation has been, you know when you exactly knew where it will go, if you know what I'm saying. The weird thing is, it's been an absolutely fantastic convo. But what I do want to say as well, you know, everyone knows I always do my deals on the Lift Show. Always like, yo, let's do this deal. But no, definitely, we're looking at doing many events, but one of the future things I want to add to the events that we're going to be doing is have almost like a real talk scenario on the stage or whatever they're still, and we're going to holly up, because I do feel that, you know me, the testimony of your testimony mixing with your music, and I think that too often growing up, you know, I would say a generation of us, and not even to this day, and I really try to say to within the industry, to say to them, it says, listen, music is not just about producing albums and being the next Kurt Franklin. Music is about the expression of your heart. Sometimes it's not about making money. More money. It's not about money, making money and being full time. It's about expressing your heart. And if you have to invest thousands in terms of getting something inside you out, being happy and putting out your journey to people is a blessing to people. God doing it. You know what I mean? And people are like, sorry, you got to promote things a certain way. You have to do this a certain way. No.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. You know what I mean? Get over that. Don't get me wrong. Somebody's going to make it, but there's a pyramid in the whole system and you cannot break that pyramid. There's going to be one Kirk, you know what I'm saying? But there's everybody has different reasons for the way they do music. And if it makes them smile and agree to, you know what I mean? Great, fantastic. But at the same time, you know, sis, you know, I know you got a great voice from back in the day and your voice is still holding down, man. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and you know what, sis? Yeah.
Amen.
You know, like I think we're the last generation that can sing without auto-tune. I do think, like, excluding myself, yeah. I think our generation, I have to take ownership with that because, yo, I work in the studios now, and I must admit, like, yo, it's taxing. You know, it's like I remember one artist now, big singer artist, yeah. She goes to me like, she did 2 takes. Oh, Roger, just tune out for me. I was like, what? like if I said I was gonna, I remember I was working with some artists back in the day, and I says, Roger, auto-tune is like a insult to my life. Don't even put that. I'm gonna sing the track properly. I'm gonna get it right here. Wow. But it's like, you know, so it's absolutely, and sorry, I'm gonna get pure hate, but listen to the tracks these days. I can guarantee you can hear auto-tune on them bad boys all day long and get an old school Clark Sisters track, and there's no auto-tune under that thing.
Exactly.
There's no auto-tune. And by the way, we encourage you to listen to Winans and listen to some cold emotion tracks. But sis, I really wanna bring out some of the aspects and elements with yourself, because it's a major issue right now in terms of what you've gone through, and I think it's just great to hear your testimony out there, and we're here just putting out stuff out there anyway. But anytime I'm gonna holler you, every time I'm like, yo, I need to touch base on a great conversation on my live show, I'm gonna call you up, sis. It's absolutely fantastic.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm happy to share, because one thing that I never wanted to talk about my story. You know, it's mine, it's personal. I never wanted to do it, but then God challenged me one day and said, look, how are you going to help people? You know, how are you going to? So it's a case of me being at peace with my story and have settled with that to be able to tell it. And not everybody can do that, because sometimes people talk about their story and then run a mile because they realize they've opened themselves up and they weren't ready to do that. But I'm happy, as God would give me the courage and the wisdom and the words to do so, to help to pull somebody out of what they don't need to get stuck in. And if my story relates and can help, then I'll do that. And
like I said, I want to focus on especially inspiring young women and, you know, inspiring people. You know what I mean? I definitely like just want to put it out there again that Judith, you know, you're social entrepreneur. And you know what I mean, and you encourage and you speak for, listen, sis, for me, you speak for a generation. I'll be honest with you, and you put out there what a lot of people were going through at the time but never said anything about it. You know what I'm saying? They used a lot of escapism to cover up with what it is, and that's a whole other subject, you know, like escapism, like people like, oh my gosh, sis, you got another hour. let's do escapism, you know what I'm saying?
That is the word.
Listen,
and I think growing up in church, music was an escapism. Let me tell you, if the praise and worship was on point, that was your escapism, you know. Because you wouldn't have to worry about anything. If the music was tight, oh my gosh, you wouldn't have to worry about anything. It was escapism, and then cracking jokes was an escapism. You didn't have to deal with what you. Oh, that's another show. That's another show.
Listen, right, guys. In a couple of weeks, we'll be Halloween Judith about escapism, and we're gonna get her to come up to Birmingham, guys. You know what I mean? And do a live like night, man, and just bless us with a couple of songs and just go in, man. I'm gonna hook that on, man. We're gonna hook that on, man. Yeah.
Yes. Let me know when you're ready. I'm good for that. I'm cool.
Oh, that's brilliant, man. But listen, sis, again, thank you for the convo, man, and I really appreciate your openness and it's a blessing to me, you know what I mean? And but I'm just seeing pure like comments on my Insta live, man. You know, people have been blessed with what you've said, and
oh wow, thank God.
You know what I'm saying? And your truthfulness with it, and I'm gonna share it out. The best interview ever by Roger Moore with Judith Denton.
Amen. Thank you, Jesus. Amen.
So it's absolutely dead cool, and it's cool talking to somebody who knows what 1970 something was like. Usually it's like, you was born 2001. Okay, cool. I was finishing uni by then. You know what I'm saying? So it's absolutely fantastic, sis, man. But listen, sis, God bless you, and and guys, listen, check out your stuff, and we'll talk. Don't worry, we're good to communicate, man. 100%, man. Yeah, and God bless you, and thanks again for this whole hour you've given us.
That's fine.
And I really appreciate it, sis. Yeah.
You know what? You're lucky it's summer holidays, so I'm kind of semi-off. So that's how you got me.
Right, guys, we got 5 more weeks. We're gonna do a 5-part show.
Hit me up, yeah, when you're ready.
Sister, we're gonna go crazy on this, man. But definitely, sister, anything, I'll give you a holler, man. Yeah. All right, then, man. Yeah. God bless you, man, and thanks again, sis. Yeah. All right, man. Bless you.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
Yo, guys, that was like, woo. Yo, guys, we just come out the journey. I feel like that was the interview. You ain't doing interviewing like, yo, I've just like just learned a bag of stuff from, and I must admit, I must appreciate again Judith again for being honest and being on the show, and that's what the show is all about, guys. Some real talk, kind of guys, you don't realize this is stuff I'm talking to people about outside of not only people that used to go to church, but used to go to church. These are the conversations that we're having, and hopefully I pray that this has blessed somebody. Really let people realize that we understand. I understand, and as there are people that understand the pains and the bullying, the things that you face within the circles of so-called safety, which is the body of Christ, but the body of Christ, or church, or whatever you say. And this is not about dogging down church. Both myself and Judith, we still go to church. But this is, and people are like, yeah, really? You sure? You can't say nothing? But we're being real and putting things out there. Yeah. But listen, from that, man, we're gonna lighten the note, and I'm gonna hopefully later on in the show we're gonna try and play Judith's track. But check out Judith's music, and definitely support a ministry, what's going on there. I'm gonna at the end, near the end, we'll be playing out a track and whatsoever. But I want to play a bit of SO. We're gonna slow down. We're gonna play some I'll say R&B stuff. I'm gonna switch in a track from Judith and so on. But listen, guys, again, thanks again for listening in. Thanks again for Judith Denton, and then coming through, and as she refers to Sister Judith Denton. we appreciate her time and effort for it. The whole hour, guys, man, that's manic, man. That's crazy, man. But listen, guys, check this out. We're gonna play Love Is, you know what I'm saying? And you know what? Love is real, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna play this SO track. I love the vibe. It's in the summer, but you know, this is about love. We played a track called Show Love. You know, Judith is all about for his glory, God's glory. It's about love, real love, true love, and that's what Christianity, that's what we about. There's so many different types of love, but the reality show is we're talking about a foundational, unconditional love still, yeah? So we're gonna play a bit of Love Is Real by SO. This is one of my jams, man, but it works for the season, and it's a vibe, you know what I'm saying? And it just keeps me smiling no matter what. Love is what is love is. Let's have a vibe of it.
How's it make you feel? Let's go. I try to find it in the ladies like. See, I was born in the 80s with the 80s hype. All the girls went crazy for the racing stripes. Vavavoom was the vroom with the chasing lights. But I was doomed, consumed before I hit the door. Then I was moved when she said me and more. On my balls like we applaud it. But our views were oh so distorted. We were untaught kids, tortured our mind with the pictures. Caught in rewind, we were blistered and listed. Of course, we were blind, never listened for wisdom. A call for the bride, no. So I cry, like who could say from this plight? What's love is it in this life? What's bugged is I lose trying to win this fight? So I thought till I witnessed Christ, so now
love is you.
Yes, Lord, it is.
Love is you.
Yes, Lord, it is.
Love is you.
I said that love is so you. Because your love is so
love
true.
Is
so
you.
Yes, Lord, it is.
Love is you.
Yes, Lord, it is.
Love is you.
I said that love is so you. Because your love is so true. Look. Now my vision's getting clearer, and I'm listening to wisdom and hearing her. She clearing up the mist in the mirror, but I ain't vain, don't look in the mirror much. There goes the pride that collides with them. I let them know that we're trying to find love, but finding them. It's so hard, I'm so charged up, rising it. Trying to find love with wisdom, guiding them. She takes me on a stroll, lets me know that what I'm gonna show you is something that is so true. This ain't that love, but the stuff that you're prone to. Here it's so real, no frill, she is no fool. In the middle of the sentence, I pause for a second, feeling all much more than the presence. I'm looking at the hell, no longer in the present. I'm at the cross of Christ with a blaring love message. Yes, Lord, it is. Yes, Lord, it is. I said that love is so you, because your love is so true. Yes, Lord, it is. Yes, Lord, it is. I said that love is so you, because your love is so true. I see better than I saw. The other love that I thought was real was a counterfeit. This love strips some of my arrogance and all the bad it's married with. I'm so glad I'm marriageless. So when I look at the wooden tree, I see him all battered and bruised. Here lies the king of the Jews. He came to bring the good news. Imperative that we see the cross as love shown. For sinners who are lost as lost souls. We get into the world cause they must know that true love is found in the gospel. And all that searching around for gold dust in the ground won't work since we're working it out. The truth is in the scriptures, and cause if you must know, it says God is love. Shalom.
Love is you. 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 Baby, you're messing with crazy. Yeah, you should know my love will leave a mark. I hope you like a psycho heart. Baby, if it's danger you're craving, yeah, you should know my love will leave a mark. I hope you like a psycho heart.
Conversations lately always turn to Nas Barkley. Scar smiles made me Joker, she could be my Harley. I say she play too many games and this is no Atari. She say I'm sorry, I just love it when you're jealous, baby. She love the likes from other guys, it gets her levitated. She take my breath away each day like it's her medication. I know relationships all take a bit of dedication. It's difficult because you revel in my defamation, and I can't do it anymore. I tried this way before. The passion feel like wildfire raging up against the shore. And you can't build a home until you know foundation sure. My mama say sandcastles wash away my baby boy. I got a new aura, I think I need to move forward. It's not that you not a star, I just got a new orbit. With eyes closed, she said I'ma put you through torment and make sure you cannot ignore it. Damn.
Baby,
Yo, Psycho, heart crazy still. And you know what, still, yeah, guys, you know, I'm putting up, after such a heavy interview that we had with Judith Denton, heavy in terms of it's good and heavy because it's emotionally heavy. I'm just playing pure live vibes, great positive sided tracks still that, you know, but also reflective at the same time still. So I'm going to play a track which you have to play when you're driving in the sunshine while I'm in the studio getting fried by some really cool lighting. A man's getting a little sweat on you know, like on the whole TV thing, so you know, I need to get some powder on my forehead, but you know what, it's all good still. Jackie Hill Perry, Art of Joy. Oh, the vibe is cool. Summertime.
It's universal who you work through. The church's purpose is to search you. This verse's purpose is to lurk the murky purpose of the joy thief. I seen it hitting where the joy beat. Inside the commands, the plan B, destroy me. The parts of me that can't enjoy thee. Deploy B, deploy peace. 2 fingers like a 70 boy scene with some bell bottoms. Hell's riding with objects that rejected, better yet they forgotten the compass. That their optics only option is spotting the opera. When adoption got them is crop from the topic. It's a process when I'm watching the rock and this promise. Must be honest, it's some blinders, it's time in my progress. Then I remember.
You make us happy when we look at you. You make us happy when we look for you. Satisfaction only happens to those who are glad in you, glad in you. You make us happy when we look at you. You make us happy when we look for you. Satisfaction only happens to those who are glad in you, glad in you. Who are glad in you, glad in you. Satisfaction only happens to those who are glad in you, glad in you.
I tried to find joy in everything. Searched a couple mountains. Even thought I could get it from 2 for 15s that filled my lungs with something higher and inspired me like a 16 or 16. It didn't work, but what did it was the finished work. Brought me back to himself. Now I'm living in reverse, seeing good gifts as a glimpse of the giver, not the gifts as a giver. Merry Christmas if the vision works. If you've seen them, then you get it. An image no sentence can keep out of a mental prison. Our mental was limited with mentioning his existence. When it was finished, that was the beginning of our joy. I love the tension. If I'm happy in you, I'm happy with you. Attraction to you makes suggested passions turn to ashes. Grab the urn and burn it faster than the Jackie Journal track and learning satisfaction serving you. I'm just happy learning you.
You make us happy when we look at you. You make us happy when we look for you. Satisfaction only happens to those who are glad in you, glad in you. You make us happy when we look at you. You make us happy when we look for you. Satisfaction only happens to those who are glad in you, glad in you. Who are glad in you, glad in you. Satisfaction only happens to those who are glad in you, glad in you.
What's it all about? Why is blood flowing through this body? Why is air in my lungs? Where we going now?
Can't go without a bit of Mali music. It's gonna be alright. Yo, everyone knows who Sounds of Blackness is. You know there's a tune like this, man. But listen, guys, it's gonna be alright. We're coming down. You know what I'm saying? 15-20 minutes left of the show. We're gonna play a bit of Judith Denton's latest music, but at the same time, yo, pure good vibes finishing off the show. Summertime vibes. It's gonna be alright, man.
It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. So let me introduce myself. I go by the name Molly, and it's nice to meet you. And I'm a chill kind of guy, don't wanna hurt nobody. And love is the lens that I peeped you through. Oh, I got a song to sing, and it's a song about hope for you. It's
It's a song about faith. I see all that you are going through, and it's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. Oh, I see you laughing. Yeah, I see you smiling. Oh, I see you dancing. I'm inspired. All he wants for us is all I want for you. So let's go higher. Let's go higher. Oh, I got a song to sing, and it's a song about hope for you. It's a song about faith. I see all that you are going through, and it's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright.
Okay, guys, we're just loading up still with some music, and I'm just twisting things around. I'm gonna play a bit of Joey Jewish still. Man, I'm playing this pure summer vibes tracks, man. That's how I was gonna do this. Do the rest of the show, man. Just pure vibes. Everyone enjoy the summer vibes. Enjoy the summer, UK.
Falling off the top of the road, I can see the skyline. 50-mile radius on my timeline. Ain't nothing on my mind.
Right, guys, so I am gonna sing along to this track. I just love this track still, yeah. But I gotta reload this track because it's not Joey Jewish anymore. It's Joey Vantes. Yeah, so it's Joey Joey Vantes. These Hispanic brothers, man, they're taking over the scene, right? So, I gotta work on my Spanish, man, and you know what I mean. And let's get on top of it still, anyway. But check out this track called Brown Boy, related. But beautiful solitude. This track brought me to Joey Vantes, and this big tune. It should be coming to the UK this year as well. But anyway, enjoy the vibe. Watch it drop.
Falling off the top of the road, I can see the skyline. 50-mile radius on my timeline. Ain't nothing on my mind. Oh Lord, running out of lifetime. And I'ma just roll with it. And I'ma just roll with it. And I'ma just roll with it. Falling off the top of the road, I can see the skyline. 50-mile radius on my timeline. Ain't nothing on my mind. Oh Lord, running out of lifetime. And I'ma just roll with it. And I'ma just roll with it. And I'ma just roll with it. And I'ma just roll. Vino got me locked up in the boot. Rehabilitated, now I'm here to get you loose. First one in the class, looking like a 42. Yeah, this is that illegal, they be calling up the blues. Here one more ride for the kill. You do not know how I feel. Stop trying to relate to me like you're ill. See what you're doing for minimal. Get started off real, now you're on no chill. I should put a cork up in the bottle. That's a pretty thought, but I don't do it, I don't wanna. I just wanna tell it like it is. This the type of music you ain't showing to your kids. I got a problem, I am a problem. Know what the answer is, don't wanna solve them. I just wanna vent what I'm feeling. Wish I could kill them. Deep in my mind, I know I'm not the villain. Lately been thinking about pilling. Mixing it up in my cup for the healing. Juices are dripping, I'm up on the ceiling. I'm dealing with situations that I really not doubt that you know what I'm talking about. Man, why I even doubt? Tell me what it feels to have a meal. King bed for you to chill. Where you sucked up all the luxury I fought to pay the bills. I can see the skyline. 50-mile radius on my timeline. Ain't nothing on my mind. Oh Lord, running out of lifetime. And I'ma just roll with it. And I'ma just roll with it. And I'ma just roll with it. Falling off the top of the road, I can see the skyline. 50-mile radius on my timeline. just roll with it. And I'ma just roll. 2 times I done crashed and I burn, but I don't die. I just wanna know my purpose for this life. Am I here to do it big like a coal mine? Got a coal mine. Cause everyone that I trusted is so disgusting. I think about all you bore when you told me that this was loving. Love it and leave me, you left me, I'll never forget it. But I had to let it go, I'd never fully be ready. That's the time that I had to stay faded. All my visions in love was so jaded. What it tastes like, beauty of the solitude that I face, right? See, I'll probably catch another case, right? Bet you love to see me gone, call it safe flight. I'ma do it. On the ledge I see, it's on this ledge I live. And I'ma go through it, I'm about to go through it, it's yeah. Radius on my timeline. Ain't nothing on my mind. Oh Lord, other than a lifetime. And I'ma just roll with it. 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 And I'ma just roll. I can see the skyline. 50-mile radius on my timeline. Yeah, ain't nothing on my mind.
Yo, you need to bring auto-tune right up here in ear so I can just put like an auto-tune. Yo, I'm gonna speak to my producer guys, man. Let's kind of like chuck a bit of auto-tune to help out Roger so he can just kind of blend in and sing along to the songs them. I'm just wrong. Yo guys, I'm gonna play a track, one of the tracks, Change Is Possible, featuring Carnova from Judith Denton. Now you can check her out on, and it's quite easy actually, www.Judith Denton. Yeah, Judith let me just make sure I get this right. Judith, I'm gonna put it on my thing. It's Judith AM Denton .London. Yeah, definitely check out there. Check out on social networks. We put Judith Denton. I am Judith Denton and whatsoever. Yeah, you'll find her on the social networks. I'm gonna put in the title so everyone can see, you know, in terms of where to find her and whatsoever. So don't worry about that, Judith. We're gonna be on our case and we're gonna make sure people know where to go and find what you're doing and you know, and to see where to get music from, and also at the same time is to be blessed by what's going on. So guys, check this out. I'm gonna control this 1 second. I'm gonna get this track going. Okay, cool. This is a bit of, anyone who knows Carnova is a kind of like a guy that's out there all the time doing his thing anyway still, yeah. Rapper from he's been around for a long time still, yeah. But it's just Change Is Possible, and I thought I'd definitely gonna play this track just before we kick into the the last part of the show. So I definitely need to play this before, get it all set up and whatever. But anyway, Judith Denton, Change Is Possible. Check this out. Change is definitely possible. Definitely what the great interview we had with her still. Check this out.
I wouldn't make it. They said to me I would come to no good. Sometimes I really would believe it, 'cause things around me were not happening as they should. Life out of control with no place to go. But then I remember life out of control with no place to go. But then I remember change is possible. I believe it. Change is possible. You better believe it.
For a long time I've heard change will come. I've been longing for change for so long. Change is constant but the same things seem to remain, and it seems strange because suddenly things are rearranged. You realize it will never be the same again. Change is not just possible, it's inevitable. We are living proof.
Now I've got myself together, moving forward through the good and through the bad. My dreams coming true daily as I work hard and do the best I can. No longer afraid, going to a new place.
inside. I felt pain inside. I transformed as I renewed my mind. Is it true? The narrow way filled with fire. One time I was at Waterloo Station, early, heading to my destination. From the corner of my eye, I saw this guy move to me as I tried to walk on by. Had my headphones on, so I took them off. He looked lost, like he'd been living rough. He asked me if I had any change. I just shrugged. I didn't know what to say, so I said no and quickly looked away. I should have brought change that day, but hey.
Change is possible. I believe it. Change is possible. You better believe it. Change is possible. I believe it. Change is possible. You better believe it.
Yo, change is possible, and you better believe it. And that was Judith Denton alongside the master Carnova still, yeah. And you know what, guys, I must say today's kind of like, you know what I mean, it's been definitely kind of like a blessing for me just to, you know what I mean, to talk to someone, you know, about some of the real stuff that we struggle to communicate with in the church. And I've been in church like Judith a very, very, very long time, but you know what, still, yeah, people are just not keeping it real, you know what I'm saying, at all, for me anyway, still, yeah. They're just like, yeah, and they're just kind of blagging over issues and whatsoever. But that's definitely changes possible is definitely a track that I would say definitely to vibe with, guys. But listen, again, another track, you know, when I thought what I'll do is I'll do a bit another. I have to be tempted to do well, I had to play this track, you know what I mean, because you know what, sometimes we're just so disappointed sometimes in how we, you know what I mean, we feel things. So I had to play Eric Go again. I know, disappointed, big tune from back in the day. This track got me on him from back in the day anyway, so I was on his case, man. But anyway, so yeah, check this out. Disappointed. We're coming to the end of the show. This is Roger Moore on the Leaf Show by myself today. Thanks Shania, thanks Adrian, thanks H, thanks Michael Passan. Left me by myself today. But you know what, guys, had a great convo with Judith Denton. I think if we was on the show, we would be like, I can't quite tell still anyway, still, yeah. But you know what, guys, yeah, there's me done chatting. But check us out on our podcast. We're live on Vine Juice Radio, just closing off right now on that link. Yo, we're YouTube live. We check us out on Facebook, check us on Instagram. Yo, just check us out, man, yeah, at GR360 Media.
See, I thought we had a deal. You said let's keep it real, but all that changed for real when you told me to just chill. You a player, how that feel? Tell me what's your ordeal? Take your boyfriend out your bio. You still kicking out what I know, cause you telling me I'm fine now. And we was just chilling, I was vital, but you telling me there's no title. Why you gotta say that? Why you gotta do that? Why you gotta be like? Why you gotta be like that? Got me so disappointed. This is so disappointing, but I know you'll hold me down. Got me so disappointed. This is so disappointing, but I know you'll hold me down for real though. Now I don't know what to do. You call us stereo.